What's up? What's up? What's up? This is In My Circle with Ralph. I'm also known as DJ Noise. In a second, gonna invite my producer and producer, right? Producer, writer, editor, cameraman, every everything and anything and everything in between. Much respect to him, but we're just it's in my circle tonight. We're just winging it. We had a guest to come on, but he didn't turn out to be, I guess he didn't turn out to be legit. He didn't turn out to be legit. Well, he may have been legit. He may have been legit, but he was charging me a certain amount of money he was charging me a fee to give him an hour interview to essentially promote him. He may have subscribers, but if I sit here, let's do the math. If I sit here for 10 years just doing videos for 10 years, for the next 10 years, eventually my subscribers will go up. Consistency. Right. Keep consistent, right? Now, the subscribe, organically it would get views organically. Because somewhere in the internet space, the YouTube world, somebody would find it to be very, 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 useful and relate to our old videos. You see it all the time.
Right.
Music and interviews are always becoming a big thing after so many years, and you see these. So we're not crazy on this one channel. The difference to 8 years ago on my other show, we were very consistent. And we do this, we're doing this as baby steps. We're doing this, we're doing this little baby steps as to how we're doing this. And, we've gotten everything. We've gotten some great interviews in the past. Some of my friends in the industries, music industry, rub shoulders with, all kinds of great people. We've talked to amazing people, right?
We've a lot of amazing people.
And I'm just blown away that somebody I would know for so long would charge me that much for just an hour to promote them. Right. Remember, free promotion means free promotion. I'm not making no money from this. I honestly don't make any money from this. We're not swimming in riches. We are just doing this because we have an important platform, and we like to spread the word on some information that's vital to our everyday life. Right. We like to spread great music.
And where you're free and open to express yourself.
Yeah, we're free and open.
To a point, of course.
Exactly. we have great platforms at Hamilton Radio. When you get a chance, look into Hamilton Radio. We have, if you're in the area, we have Green Screens podcast. We have podcasts, audiobooks, movies. We have live streams, and we can now rent our space as well. So look up Hamilton Radio in New Jersey and contact us if you need our services. If you like this, if you find that this video is helpful, please like, subscribe, and give me a comment. Tell me how I did or how we're doing. Like I said, this is a growing channel. This is a growing podcast. Where I'm going to, 1 week, I might do a bourbon review with a couple friends. I could probably go to a game and do something on location. many a different array of things.
Right.
Is we we do different interviews where we've interviewed cool people who wrote cool books. So far
Mm-hmm.
on my show, I've interviewed a Lego master on this exact this podcast show, a
Right.
Lego master, good friend, and he lives in New Jersey. Corey Sams from Lego Master Season One, Fox Lego Master
Mm-hmm.
Season One. Check that interview out. A couple book writers. Their books are insanely amazing,
Mm-hmm.
well written.
Excuse me.
Some artists, some great artists, Margie Martino, and Callie the chef. Some amazing artists. So I mean, we're growing. We're a growing channel, and like I said, one week you might see something about my BMX bike collection. Next, you might see something about political stuff. Um, Tonight, we're just winging it. Literally, the caption is we're just winging it. We don't really have anything written.
No, we're
Nothing
just gonna
written down.
play it by ear.
We just play it by ear, talking
Well,
about some
we
type
could
of
talk
current
about some.
events or
Well, let's do something a little fun.
well,
I'm
real
trying to
quick.
find it right now. Go ahead. I'm listening.
You said talk about fun. I was about to drop like a quick couple obituaries.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Um,
Sure. I'm sorry.
Donald Sutherland passed away.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Willie Mays recently passed away. Say Hey Kid, Hall of Famer, San Francisco Giant great Willie Mays. He was the godfather of Barry Bonds. He passed away.
Mm.
He was famous for the catch, the over the shoulder catch in the outfield. Donald Sutherland is Kiefer Sutherland's father, actor, I guess maybe producer
Producer.
and writer or something like that.
Yeah, I think he was also on MASH.
I think so. I'm not entirely
He's
sure.
in a lot of films.
He's one of those actors that has been around so long that um he's just been around so long that you just you just when you see him oh, it's
Yeah.
Donald Sutherland.
Yeah. Donald Sutherland
Also
was in that.
Shifty, what's his name? Shifty Shell Shock. Shifty Shell Shock from the band. What's the band? Crazy Town. He sang the late '90s hit track "Butterflies" or "Butterfly." Hey, come, my lady, you're my butterfly, baby, sugar, baby. Or something. You guys know.
Right.
He was the front man. He passed away. So, the industry's
Was a lot of great
losing a
people.
lot of greats. Well, I'm talking about in general. We're
Well,
losing a lot of great
This
people.
actually, in a odd way, this actually makes a little segue because everybody knows about the late John Candy that
Yes.
passed away, who was in the movie, which was one of my favorite films. I know it's an odd film. A lot of people don't like it. A lot of people do. One of my favorite movies, Spaceballs. I love that movie because every time most of the scenes in there never get old. Every time I see them, I still laugh and crack up. Well, they're talking about MGM and Amazon are talking about coming out with Spaceballs 2. And Mel Brooks is I think Mel Brooks is about 95 years old now or something like that. And I guess he still has the energy to be the producer, for the film. And there's let me see here. It says Spaceballs 2, The Search for Money is officially happening. Josh Gad confirmed Tuesday, and I think Josh Gad is also going to be the writer. And he'll star in it and also produce, I guess, along with Mel Brooks, a sequel to 1987 Spaceballs with Mel Brooks returning as the producer as well. They're saying they're very excited. It's still early days, but they're working on it, and they're working with MGM and I believe Amazon on the film. So after, oh my gosh, what 30
So
something
probably
years? About 35 years.
it'll be released on
Probably in
any
2028, 2028 or 2027, something like
any
that.
type of
Give 'em like 2, 3
any
years.
like
I
any
hope it's
video.
funny.
So it'll be released for free,
Mm-hmm.
or any paying apps that are connected to
Right.
an Amazon Fire TV or a Fire Stick,
And I hope they
and they probably may put in money to produce it.
produce it.
Yeah,
Right.
so you can have some of the rights.
And I hope that they make I hope they
mean, I
make
don't know
it.
if you know-
Oh yeah, here it is. Amazon and
Amazon's
MGM
making movies now.
Yeah, Amazon and MGM Studios together are putting their funds together. Yep, here it is.
So they're competing with Netflix.
Yeah, it's going to be directed by Josh
And Hollywood.
Greenbaum, and they said they promised to bring back its beloved humor and parody, according to the original. So hopefully, this film doesn't go in the woke, direction, and they have enough balls, no point intended, to not be scared to be funny, just like the other one was.
That's pretty good. That's very.
Yeah, and I hope they pay. I hope they actually add John Candy's name to the credits as an loving memory. That'd be nice.
I'm pretty sure that they'll probably have a what is it? What's the?
They used to say in loving memory of, usually at the end of the film.
No, they'll have an Easter egg in there to reference into him,
Yeah.
or something he did.
Well, remember he was the dog. His name was Barf.
Well, I'm saying
film.
they'll give him a they probably
Oh, you're talking about that digital imaging
they
that
could
they
really
do now?
they could really
It's
do
like that 6D
if
imaging.
you play the dog, they could probably put the dog back in there
Right.
with his voice
Image,
digitally,
right.
his voice digitally, but they may throw in some Easter eggs.
Excuse me.
If he
Mm-hmm.
said something funny, they'll reference somebody will reference said
Yeah.
give him
Oh yeah.
give him a shout.
I hope some of the cast do come back, like Rick Moranis. He was funny. But I heard he retired from acting, but they may ask him.
Well, Rick Moranis retired from acting because I think his wife passed away.
Yeah, it's been a
And
while.
he had
now,
like
but
2 or
that
3
hurts.
kids, and he decided to take care of his
His
3
kids,
kids and retire
yeah.
from acting.
Right, but I think it's been over 20 years now since his wife passed away.
Well, I mean,
But I know I'm not saying.
I think he chose a life with his kids home. Probably, once you leave the industry, it's hard to
go back.
go back because, he put his fire, his candle, his flame out when it was at an all-time high.
Right,
So
and
he left an industry where they knew who he was, and now going back to the industry 20, 30 years later,
right.
nobody's gonna know who you are.
Well, everybody can't forget Rick Moranis because he was in Ghostbusters too.
Understandably, listen, I'm not gonna disagree with you,
Yeah.
but today's younger generation do not know who he is unless they've watched
the first one.
those old movies.
Believe it or not, this is what
Ghostbusters.
They did. This is what they did with Star
where
Wars.
he plays the he's what is it
Ghostbusters. You talking about Harold Ramis who played Egon?
yeah
died.
he's looking for the I don't know, he's up the top of the building with that girl that what's his faces, and they're trying to consummate some weird
Right.
evil
Let me tell
consummation.
you
of
this. Just like
the
with
end of the
Star
world.
Wars, if anybody's a Star Wars fan and if you have young kids, they always say let them watch the old Star Wars first. And even though it doesn't make sense, but that's how we had to do it because the old Star Wars started from the end of the book, or rather in the middle, I think. And
Well,
then in
he
2000,
decided to keep the story going and
Right.
going back to the origins.
Origins.
That's what
Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
The Star Wars trilogies are very, very complicated because
Yeah.
the first Star Wars are the old Star Wars, but they're not the first.
The first.
So you
right.
got to go back to the Phantom Menace when
Yeah, exactly.
Anakin is young.
But to appreciate
that's the first one of the series that came
came out.
later.
Right. But to appreciate any of these films that come out, watch the old ones first. I recommend watching the old ones because then you understand what's going on. Because if because especially if even if they come up with a part 2 or something like that, like years later, like Back to the Future. They came out 1, 2, and 3, and the writer said he won't make a 4, but people have been pushing for a part 4 because all 3 of them were really good.
Like The Sopranos.
Yeah.
They had a whole series. It was an amazing series. One of the best series on HBO. Probably, if it's probably the best, if not one of the top 3 best series
Well, yeah, let me
of
give
all
a
time.
shout out to my man Artie Pasquale. I gotta
Yeah,
catch up with him.
Sopranos. That was a very, very, very well written.
Yeah, and the cast was huge.
The cast was huge. The cast was like a family. Well, if you've seen the whole series from start to finish, even if you're on YouTube and you're just seeing old, let's say highlights, Sopranos highlights, top, the best hits, all the hits, the murders, all the deaths of the show, all the wipeouts or the clippings or whatever. However, you get everybody calls it these days.
Let me actually. Oh, go ahead. I'll let you finish. I want to actually.
You could watch anything like that. You could skip to stuff like that, and maybe, you see, Paulie gets here. He's, best of him or best of Tony, best of metal. They always give you, but some along the way, they're Easter eggs, right? I'm saying if you've watched the whole series in its entirety, or during COVID you caught up with it, or if you're on YouTube and you're just sitting there, clips here, clips there. If you've seen The Many Saints of New York,
Right.
there's it's a very, you have to watch it.
Right.
Because there's a lot of Easter eggs.
Yeah, there is.
In The Many Saints of Newark, referencing The Sopranos, almost every single scene, almost every single dialogue, it's referencing The Sopranos. Like it gave a huge nod to Sopranos.
Right. Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
Very well written. Great movie. Will I watch it again? I'm not sure. It's one of those. I think I could watch it again. Listen, I said that thing about. I said I didn't think I could watch The Godfather.
I think it's one of those
more
things
than
you have
once,
to
and
get
every time.
implemented to again.
But I thought this about The Godfather, that it was just, oh my God, it's 2-3 hours long. I can't watch it. And every time, for the last 15 years or so, whatever, when it was on
Say hello to my
AMC,
little friend.
you would stumble across The Godfather and see, oh my God, and you start watching it, and before you know it, you're watching the rest of the first movie, then your second movie, then the third movie, then you're like, oh my God, did I really sit through the whole entire? You had something to do, and you sat through the whole thing. I'm just winging it, but back to the
But I wanted to mention.
see how amazing we created topic and talk about just about anything and everything. And you can relate to it because you probably have watched it.
One more thing on the movie thing, and then I think we have about 5 minutes to move on to something else. Do you think the movie theaters are more expensive now than they were before? Because they're saying that attendance is low. But would there be certain movies you would rather watch on the big screen than watch on TV?
Absolutely, I think that the industry is changing. We are now watching. COVID has revolutionized, unfortunately.
Right.
Revolutionized, well, in a way, de-revolutionized going out.
Right.
We took the Netflix and chill to a whole different level where you can go see a movie every night at home and not leave your house. They still have Redbox, but Redbox, you're paying $1 for a movie. How much longer can Redbox last?
Right.
Netflix, you're doing the same thing except it's digitally.
Right.
But you pay a certain amount of, a fee.
Fee.
And now it used to be like $3. Now it's like $15.
Right.
I don't know. I don't even. Don't quote me if that's the right price or not. I'm not looking for the right. But I'm just using it as an example.
Example.
The movies and the movie industry is it's a ever evolving revolving apparatus
Right.
because of the fact that COVID was like there's this wheel that's going right, and all of a sudden COVID was like this wrench that stopped everything
Right.
from all this normalcy. Now everything is like disrupted. Everything in the time continuum is interrupted because of this. We don't go out no more. We don't go see movies in the theater no more.
No.
You know, before COVID, theaters were packed. Granted, and we're going to go back to the cost. Theaters were still packed, but now they're no longer,
I mean,
they're
believe it
no
or not,
longer viable. They're no longer.
now
Why go
for
pay $25 for a movie when you can stay home,
but now
save
you
that
know,
$25?
but now some of these theaters are offering deals where for $100 you can bring your whole family to go see like I think 2 movies or something like that.
Well, that's the industry. Well, what I'm saying back to the industry is evolving, where
Yeah,
all
it's-
these different companies are
And-
doing all these massive.
I want to tell you there's a little irony to that too.
But no, hold on, back to
oh, go
they're all these doing these massive revamps. Like Amazon's now shooting video.
Yeah,
You know,
Netflix is still.
your Amazon and Toshiba are basically making cable obsolete. So your cable's going higher now
Right.
because it's losing its
thing.
subscribers. Because I
Yeah.
am one who gave up my cable about maybe 3 months ago.
Oh.
I just said I'm done with it.
I gave my cable up in 2008.
Well, I mean, I have children,
Yeah, I understand.
so
yeah.
it's very important to
Right.
have that. You know, where you could just turn on the TV and boom,
Boom,
you have
there it is.
cartoons.
Right.
Well, the
Maybe you like it a
ability of
little
having the
easier.
internet, you could turn on. I could still turn on my TV
Mm-hmm.
and say, boom, I'll put some cartoons on. It won't be exactly what you want to see, but it will be something close
To it.
to it. And
Actually,
then now
believe-
they offer apps where you can pay $4 or $5 a month, and instead of paying $300 for cable, you could pay 2 or 3 apps, maybe 4 or 5 apps
And
the
if you want to
most,
watch,
and keep it cheap.
if you have kids, like Ralph has still a young child and he has a teenager. But as for his young kid, and trust me, I'm not a sponsor for Pluto TV or anything else like that. But you can watch older children programs on Pluto, the kids TV channel, and everything like that. I was scanning through, looking for movies and stuff like that to watch on Pluto, and they have like an all kids thing. One of my favorite old childhood cartoons was Garfield.
Mine,
One of the.
well, reminiscing not too long ago shows reminiscing. I went on YouTube and put up old Alf episodes
Oh yeah,
and
Alf,
showed them
yeah.
showed my son, that there was like a little alien. TV was different back then. It wasn't.
And TV had more like substance to it, and just like, and I hate it when they left those cliffhangers. Remember the kid? They left you with cliffhangers on the show, and you had to wait till next Friday.
You'd be forced to see it the next Friday. And the internet, you couldn't read spoilers. You had to now.
Yeah,
Now you can see everything
We
right
want-
before
yeah.
the spoiler.
Spoilers. Yeah.
There was a show that I got into.
And the other thing I was going to say, like with the spoilers, what I hated the most was like if you had to go somewhere with your family night or something like that, and they choose the night where that part of the show will come on, then you had to wait all the way to like another year to watch what you missed if you had to go out with a family night or something like that.
Yeah, I definitely can relate to that. See, I remember all those old shows, and some great shows. Like now, what I'm seeing on TV now is reboots of all these old shows,
Right.
because I don't have cable. I'm watching the internet, the TV that they, the internet TV
TV.
that I have.
Right.
Because that's what it is. It's not cable
Yeah.
TV, it's internet TV.
Right.
You got the new reboot of Saved by the Bell,
Mm-hmm.
the new reboot of George Lopez show.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But I was watching this one show, and back to the. I was watching this one show, The Way Home. It's a Hallmark type, good. It's a it is Hallmark's first big show.
Right.
Like, and they're like somebody saying the viewers right now are saying like, what? Hallmark's first big show. What I'm saying is, it is Hallmark's most unique, talked about show of
Right.
the last 2 years. It is called On the Way Home. Check it out. And how I jumped into it was the internet TV was going and going, and then after the show, I'd watch the show, and then it'd show this girl running through, the woods and then falling into a pond.
Mm.
And so right there, you're intrigued. You're intrigued. It's like, why is this girl running through the woods and falling into a pond? So I got into it. And I caught myself up so far to where I caught myself up to it to where now I had to wait till next Tuesday to see the next episode.
Okay.
Because there was no spoilers.
Right.
But I would go on YouTube and look at some of the spoiler scenes.
Spoiler scenes.
Remember, we didn't have that back then.
No, we didn't.
We had it like, oh my God, what's going on? Oh my God. And
Yeah.
the whole week you're talking about,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh my God, I can't wait till the show. Yeah,
starts.
now it's like,
Oh, I gotta tell you one thing. That's one thing I did not like. That's the only thing I didn't like about Back to the Future was its ending cliffhangers. That got on my nerves.
Back to the Future to me
That's the only
was
thing
a
that got on my
very,
nerves.
very complex show or movie. And I love it. But sometimes it can be confusing at times.
Right.
Absolutely. It's a good one. It's
Yeah. That's the only
check
thing
out if you haven't watched Back to the
Future.
Future. Check them out.
Yeah, you see
check
what we're
those
talking
movies
about.
out.
Now, but today is that you really, you can see what we're talking about, but imagine you watch Back to the Future 1 and it just says to be continue, and then you had to wait like 2 years later, something like that. And then part 2 came out with a different cliffhanger, and then part 3, I think even part 3 left us off with a little cliffhanger in a way, a slight one.
The next topic might have to be cliffhangers.
I think that's the reason why people keep asking for part 4, because there is a slight cliffhanger at the end.
You know what didn't leave you with a cliffhanger was the Karate Kid movies.
Oh no,
They were just straight kick
ended.
the shit out of you and you're done.
Exactly.
Daniel's son would kick the crap out of you.
Exactly.
Do some weird crane kick.
Great kick.
I know. Already beat up on his last leg, and he beat the crap out of you.
Exactly.
And he'd get the girl, no matter where, if he was in America or Japan,
Exactly.
he would always get the girl. And there was no cliffhangers. It was
Right.
just the cliffhanger would be like, you see the guy, his ass beat,
Well,
and
Exactly. I'm gonna let you end us out.
that's another one. You check out the Karate Kid. That was a good one. Check out Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, right? Rick Moranis, Ghostbusters. Check them all out. They're definitely worth checking a look at. Sopranos, definitely a good series. This is In My Circle, and I'm Ralph, also known as DJ Noise. And if you like what if you like what you're seeing, like, subscribe, and comment, and let me know what any show could change. So let me know. We're out, and see you next show. All right. This is In My Circle, and I'm Ralph. And subscribe, and comment, and definitely share. Appreciate you. And I'm out. Peace.